I'm Tony Crimlisk, and this is my second ukulele post on movable chords. The first post looked at major chords and it showed you if you can play an A major shape, an F shape and a C shape, and you can use a barre, then you can use all the major chords there are. In this post I'm going to look at minor chords, working exactly the same way. You've got an A minor shape, a D minor shape, and a G minor shape. And if you then put a barre, let's say the A minor shape, move up one fret, put a barre on the first fret, and instead of A minor, you're now playing B flat minor, B minor, C, and so on up the way. D minor shape works the same way, D minor, change your fingering, put a barre across, that's E flat minor, E minor, F minor, F sharp and so on. Do remember between B and C and E and F there's only a semitone, so you only move one fret. All the others you move two frets. The next chord is the G minor one. And you can change the fingering here and do that, and that becomes now, instead of a G minor, it's an A flat minor, A minor, and so on. But I found that a little bit of a stretch, and there's an easier way. All basic chords, major, minor, augmented, diminished, are made up of 3 notes. But of course the ukulele's got 4 strings. So you always end up by duplicating one of them, doubling it. In G minor, this shape here got there, there's a G there, and there's a G here. Same note. But you can double any of the 3 notes. And so if you choose, instead of doubling the G, double the B flat, that's A, G, A, B flat, like that. So you've got your shape here, change your fingering, so you've got that sort of inverted V shape. That now gives you a slightly more compact version of the G minor chord, which makes it a little easier, I think, to move up and down. So that gives you a G minor, A flat, A minor, and so on all the way through. The 7th chords work in the same way, but it's much simpler. The ukulele's tune, G, C, E, A, means that the bottom 3 strings, or rather I should say strings 4, 3 and 2, bottom in pitch, highest in space, give you a major chord, C major, C, E and G. The top 3 strings, or rather strings 1, 2 and 3, give you a minor chord, C, E and A. You play them all together, you have either a C major chord with an added A. Now A is 6 notes above C, so that's a C6 chord. Or you have an A minor chord with an added G. And G is 7 notes above A, so that becomes, it's an A minor 7. So all you need is a barre across, an A minor 7, becomes B flat minor 7, B, that's how it works. Okay, so now you can play all the major chords and all the minor chords anywhere on the fingerboard. You can start putting them into patterns or sequences of chords for improvisation, for accompanying songs, or for songwriting. There are certain cliches of patterns you can work on. The most obvious was the one I touched on in part 1, which is 1 and 5. In C, that would be a C chord, followed by a G chord. Or an F chord, followed by a C or a C7. And you could play the C here, or there, C7, and F. Or in G, it would be a G and a D7 or D. And again, you could play the D there, or you could also play it here. 1 and 5, hundreds of songs. 1, 4, 4 and 5, even more. I mean, it's the traditional 3-chord trick beloved by the 50s and 60s skiffle groups. They just learn 3 chords and you're off, which is true. And there are hundreds, if not thousands, of songs based on 1, 4 and 5. If you're not sure what I mean by 1, 4 and 5, have a look at my UQ notes, which is a little bit of basic harmony, musical theory, specifically for ukulele players. I hope it's not too complicated. I've tried not to make it, but to give you some background. Basically, there are 12 notes from which you can build a scale, and a major scale, which is the most common one, has 7 notes in it. So you count number 1, the chord number 1, whatever scale you're using. In C, C will be chord number 1. Count up 4 notes, and F will be the chord 4, and G will be 5. In F, key of F, F would be chord number 1, B flat would be chord number 4, and C would be chord number 5. So you see, C could be either a 1 or a 5, depending on which scale you're in. In G, it could be chord 1 would be chord G, but C would now be chord 4, and D would be chord 5. If that isn't clear, have a look at that and it might make it a bit clearer. But there's one sequence that's ubiquitous, it's all over the place, and either used in a part or in just in the whole, or for the whole song. And it's 1, 6, 2, 5. 1, 4 and 5 are always, or nearly always, major, and 2, 3 and 6 are always, or nearly always, minor. So the sequence of 1, 6, 2, 5 in C, for example, will be a C chord, followed by an A minor chord, followed by a D minor chord, followed by a G7. You saw me standing alone, the songs in my heart, and so on like that. Or we were all going on a summer holiday, or in the mountain green where it's the scenery, or if I want you in my arms, if I need you, all my charms, if ever I want you, all I have to do is dream. Now you should be able to play that sequence of chords anywhere on the fingerboard with one of 3 different patterns. Let's start with the F pattern. Put a bar at fret 2, put an F pattern above it, and now you've got a G chord. Chord 6 in G is E minor. You can get that by playing one finger down here, keeping everything else the same, and you've got a D minor shape, and it gives you an E minor chord. Move up 1 fret and put the G minor shape, the alternative G minor shape, and you get an A minor chord. You can either do it with a single finger here, or I think I prefer to put the barré on. Then change that to a D or a D7, and you get the sequence 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5 in the key of G, and you can move that to wherever you want. The other shape is a C shape. Let's put a barré on at fret 5 and a C shape above that, and you get the chord of F. Chord 6 in the key of F is D minor, so put an A minor shape, keep the barré where it is, A minor shape here. And that gives you a D minor chord. Then we want chord 2 in F, which is G minor, and you can get that by pressing the D minor shape, keeping the barré exactly where it is, fret 5. And that gives you a D minor chord, that gives you a G minor chord, I should say, D minor shape. And then you want a C chord, which you can play here, C7, or you could play it here. then the third shape is the A shape. Put the barré again at the 3rd fret, put an A shape above that, A, and you get a C chord. All you need now to do is to put that one finger down there, keep the rest of it exactly where it is, and that's the G minor shape, alternative G minor shape, gives you an A minor chord. You now want a D minor chord and a G or a G7. Or if you want, you can go here for a G. Your choice. So that gives you the sequence. Well, I hope you found this excursion into high position chords on the fingerboard helpful and useful. I think it gives a good sense of what I would call fingerboard geography, so you know where you can find chords and notes in different places. And you make utilises the rest of the fingerboard on a soprano, on a concert, or on a tenor, which is what this one is. You know that you can play a C chord here, but you can also play the same C chord here or here. You can play a B flat chord here, or you can play it there. And you know, various positions. But it's particularly useful, I think, if you are interested in playing melody harmonies or chord melodies, that is arrangements where you play the tune and then the chords underneath it. Sounds difficult, but it starts off, this is my beginner's guide. You can download it completely free, incidentally. It starts off with simple open position chords, C, F and G to begin with, and only later on goes up to high positions. But as you're going up to high positions, you begin to recognise the shapes that we've looked at. Now, one of the songs in that arrangement, in that booklet of harmony melody arrangements, is in fact Blue Moon. So I'm going to leave you with that. It's in the key of F, so it's got the chords of F, D minor, G minor, and C. I'll leave you with that. Enjoy playing the ukulele. See you another time.